Steve, Pennsylvania. You're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for taking my call. It kind of seems to me like you're making like your own set of rules that says that if you're rich and you're in Congress, you're not allowed to call for any kind of tax raises, or then you're a hypocrite.
No, what I'm saying is before you go ahead and say others can afford to pay more, which means you've decided, you've got some equation whereby which you've decided that other people can live without a portion of their wealth that has nothing to do with the necessary functions of government. You should sacrifice your own lifestyle. If you have an animosity towards wealth, you shouldn't have any.
So John Kerry said that he wants other people to pay the taxes and he's not willing to pay them himself? Or are you just assuming that?
What do you mean, what am I assuming? John Kerry's one of the people complaining. John Kerry's one of the people. There's a little debate between Marco Rubio and John Kerry where Marco Rubio actually allowed John Kerry to, because during those little Senate speeches, they have the floor until their time is expired. But John Kerry asked, and he said, may I address the senator from Florida? And the senator from Florida said, I'm willing to hear an address from the senator from Massachusetts. And they had a little back and forth.
Right.
And it seems that John Kerry's biggest complaint is that the Republicans have a spending cuts only approach without, quote unquote, new revenues or tax raises. Now, the fact of the matter is that taxes do affect people's lifestyles. If you earn an income, after you've paid for the necessary functions of government, when government begins to lump other responsibilities onto a taxpayer, that is a sacrifice from their lifestyle. The complaint is about private jets or yachts. If we're going to complain about yachts, John Kerry has a yacht. Why is everyone else's yacht bad and John Kerry's isn't?
Does he not pay taxes on that yacht?
No, actually, he tried to evade those taxes, sir, by parking his yacht in Rhode Island and not in Massachusetts. So he tried to evade the taxes on that yacht. He got caught, and now he's paying them because he got caught. So his instinct was to evade the taxes when possible.
Right, and most liberals are calling for exactly that, for people to pay their fair share.
But define fair share, sir.
Have you ever heard about the Cayman Islands?
Steve, don't. I don't care about the Cayman Islands. Tell me what the fair share is. Define fair share for me.
Well, right now the richest tax bracket pays what, 36%?
36.5, I believe. It was dropped.
And of course, we also got those awesome cuts in the capital gains tax, which helps all the middle class because middle class are such they're such investors.
Where do you think most of the middle class pensions are? Before this, take off the beret and shave the mustache before you come at me with your animosity. Where do you think most of the middle class investors are invested in their pensions, in their 401ks, and their IRAs?
Right, but are you telling me? You're telling me that
those capital gains, made by mutual funds. Will you let me finish, or I have to hang up on you? Those capital gains that are made by mutual funds, that are made in IRAs, that are made in 401ks, are taken by the middle class, sir.
But
and when those companies have operating capital to create jobs, they create the jobs held by the middle class, sir.
They're not taken out till years later. That capital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
People that actively trade right now, so they're the ones making out on these tax cuts right now. The richest right now, they get their tax.
But most of these wealthy liberal senators are making their money in the same place that you're complaining about, stock trading.
And those wealthy senators are the ones calling to raise those taxes, so they're not hypocrites.
Yeah, but we're talking about taxing the rich. There are people that get on the escalator at the bottom, sir. These people have wealth in reserve. If you're going to say that the static pie exists, that if somebody's getting rich, somebody else has to be getting poor, then what do you say when John Kerry's holding on to $188.37 million? How is his wealth benefiting the poor?
Are you saying that wealth wasn't taxed already? He stole it from a bank or somewhere?
He inherited it. He inherited it.
And we have an inheritance tax, so that wealth is taxed.
But he still has more. He still has more than other people. The people living in those Boston projects with the rats and the bugs, and the kids can't get lunch, and they can't read because their schools are crumbling. Wouldn't an infusion of capital from John F. Kerry make life better in Massachusetts?
You just completely changed the argument.
No, I didn't, sir. You're coming at me. You're coming at me with nothing. You're coming to me with nothing, sir.
If you have accumulated wealth, then you cannot ask for a tax increase because then you're a hypocrite.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. If you're going to demand that other people offer up the sacrifice of their lifestyle while you offer nothing of you, it's got to hit you as hard as everybody else if you're going to complain. If you're missing the point, Steve. You're missing the point because you don't understand the difference. The problem here is that there's this little escape hatch. Okay, how is $250,000 $1 million? That's $750,000 less than $1 million. The highest tax rate that they're proposing for quote unquote millionaires kicks in at $250,000. That's $750,000 less than $1 million. If you really want to tax the rich and make it fair and make it so people don't go without while others have too much, you go up to John Kerry and say, you should give up your money.
And he'd be perfectly willing to pay more on his income.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure he would. Thank you very much for the call. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. 1-866-95. The problem is with people like that is they think because they're really excited and they read a couple of articles and they watched MSNBC last night that I'm making it up. I'm being a hypocrite. I'm lying. If you're going to make the claim that the pie is static, that means that wealth is neither being created nor destroyed. It's only being held by a few. Here's your few. Here they are, right there front and center. If you're going to say someone that makes $250,000 is a millionaire, you don't know what a millionaire is. When you're saying that the American lifestyle has to offer up sacrifices so other people can eat, well, yachts, John Kerry. Private jets, John Kerry. 8 different homes, John Kerry. Who's complaining about other people's wealth? John Kerry. Then don't give me this 3% crap. Even at 10%, his lifestyle's not affected. Before you tell someone, hey, who do you think you are to add that deck to your backyard? Somebody else is starving. It's almost like we have this untouchable, immortal elite. And to even question them